Welcome to the Success IAS YouTube channel, and we are going to start Modern India, which is a very important topic for preliminary examination, and all these topics which will be covered is important for this year examination, which are going to be held in October, and also all these topics also relevant for 2021. So, and the starting chapter will be Advent of Europeans or the coming of Europeans. Basically, in modern India, and if you see, modern India generally starts from 1707 to 1947. This is the exact time of from where decline of Mughal Empire started. But this topic falls into medieval India as well as in modern India also, because the advent of European started from in the end of the 15th century. That's why from 1498, when Vasco da Gama arrived in India, and from that time to 1707, it is studied in medieval India. And from 1707 up to 1947, it is studied in modern India. Now we will see the first some of the relevant aspects, and mind it that there will be some facts also, and there will be some concepts also, and facts will be also relevant for preliminary examination point of view. This topic is specifically important for preliminary examination point of view. That's why facts are important. I am not denying that this topic is not relevant for mains point of view. I am not denying that. The questions may be asked from that topic, but it is more and more important for preliminary examination point of view. Many questions has been asked in previous years, and there is a probability of questions to be asked in coming years. So, and there is a question mark, why is the date of 1707? We will discuss in great detail when we start the topic of decline of Mughal Empire. But in very short, because something new changes happened from that time, that's why modern India is called. Modern means new changes. From 1707, something new changes happened in India, like growing power of European companies, decline of Mughal Empire, rise of regional states, some of the new changes. And when something new changes occurs, then we call modern. So that's why, and all the famous books have been written by famous historians, which is the date is started by 1707. So we come to first topic, Advent of Europeans. Also it is called the coming of Europeans. The two words are similar, interchangeable. First is that some points have been written. The commercial context between India and Europe via the land route was very old. The contact between India and Europe was not new. It was very old, and you will read also in ancient time, especially in Sangam period. A mains question has been asked from Sangam period in 2014, and there were ports mentioned in Sangam literature like Muziris on Malabar coast, and the new feature was started from 17th century AD, when the seaborne trade passed into the hands of Arabs. It means, first you have to understand, I am not emphasizing on remembering, you have to basically understand. All you have studied in NCERT books in 9th or 10th, or that ancient Indians had a close contact with Europeans. But what was the route? The route was mix up. It means some sea route and some land route. It means it was not direct relations, indirect relations were there through Arabian Sea. And whenever you study, one point and one suggestions from me, that you have to study history with geography also. You should have on your table atlas also. So, Roman traders were active in, and Arabian were active in Mediterranean Sea, and the Arabian Sea, Arab traders were active, and those items like spices, like cotton, all these spices or cotton were known to Europe from ancient time. It means you can assume that starting of the century, 1st century AD, you can, and all it has been mentioned in the historical books. The traders took the goods from coastal areas of Kerala on the Malabar coast, or from Kaveri Patinam, it has been mentioned in Sangam literature, on Coromandel coast, and it means, and then it was landed on the coast of Gulf, and then onward journey with the Gulf, it crossed through Iran and Iraq, and from Israel, Syria, and then handed to the traders of Romans, which was carried all throughout Europe. It means, and the alternate route was also with Arabian Sea, it was attached to the Red Sea also. So, you have to, the ideas about Red Sea, Gulf Sea, Arabian Sea, Mediterranean Sea. Then we come to the next point, when with the advent of Islam, you can say the Arabians became more and more powerful in Arabian Sea. That is why the name is still called Arabs. and there were 2 points from the 17th century onwards. The Arabian Sea trade was monopolized by the Arabs, who dominated the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea. Where is the Red Sea? You have to point out in your atlas. Next come to Mediterranean Sea. Where is the Mediterranean Sea? Mediterranean Sea lies between Europe and Africa. Okay? And in Mediterranean Sea, the country of Italy and Greece lies in finger shaped in Mediterranean Sea. In the it was merchants of Venice and Geneva who monopolized their trade in Mediterranean Sea. And in Red Sea and Indian Ocean, the trade was monopolized by Arabs. Monopoly means, it means trade through a particular group of traders. It is called monopoly. It means in Indian Ocean, through Red Sea and Gulf, it was dominated by Arabs, and in Mediterranean, it was dominated by the traders of Geneva. Nowadays, Geneva is in Switzerland. Geneva and Venice, which is in Italy. Next important point is why Europeans came to India. And they wanted to break the monopoly of Indian trade by the Arabs and Venetians by direct trade with India. What was the reason? We are going to discuss why Europeans attracted towards India. Though the trade was carried on, but what was the reason? What was the quest to discover a new sea route? What was the logic behind? Basically, history, the events of history is logically based. My teaching style is based on pure logic. Why they did compel to discover a new sea route? Because in Mediterranean Sea, the traders of Italy and Greece, they have the monopoly. And in Arabian Sea, this was monopolized by Arabs. This is a common perception, common knowledge, that whenever a goods handed to different hands, the price of the goods multiply. It means when the Indian spices and cotton reached to the traders of Italy and Greece, and then the price rose many folds, many times, and it means the country of Portugal, and see the locations of Portugal, because we are going to discuss all the European countries. It means Portugal, see the locations of Portugal and Spain and Holland and England and France in the map. So the traders of Portugal and Spain, specifically Portugal, were very zealous of the traders of merchants of Venice or Geneva. It means they had the traders of Portuguese had a rivalry with Italy and Greece. It means they tried to discover a new sea route. New sea route, it means new sea route was a target to real Mandi. This is a common sense, common knowledge, that if you find the real Mandi, they were in the quest of the real Mandi. In real Mandi, the price will be less and less cheaper, and the motive was to make more and more profit. So the traders of the Portugal and Dutches, and in coming years French traders or British traders, main motive was to reach Mandi. Mandi, it means the Mandi of the ports of India. Trading in India was highly profitable. What we have discussed was it was highly profitable. Purchased goods at cheaper and sold them in Europe at the higher prices. This was the motive. Why did they came? We are discussing that point. The demand of cotton and silk was very high in Europe. Indian spices were also in great demand in Europe. So cotton and spices from ancient times, it was very famous in Europe. It was no new thing for Europe. So the matter is to only to reach Mandi. And some of the situation, and I am putting a point that at what point, it means at the end of the 15th century, what conditions favorable to advent of or coming of the Europeans? Why did they not arrive in 12th century or 13th century? Why did they arrive only in 15th century? What is the logic behind it? It is not possible to mention all these points on the, but there were some important points and factors like scientific discoveries, especially in the area of navigation. It means I am just some scientific inventions in the area of navigation science. Then geographical discoveries, and scientific development also contributed to the factors of coming of Europeans. Geographical discoveries, it means new sea route which were discovered by Vasco da Gama, and navigation science. With the help of the navigation science, it was easy to find sea route, and before that it was not possible for small ships to venture out in open sea. And there were some, it is very interesting fact that there were some misconceptions in that time, that there were sea mongers, the earth was flat, and in Europe the period was, it means in the 15th century AD, some of like a Renaissance happened, a new navigation school was opened by the King of Portugal, Henry, and he took his title Henry the Navigator. He opened a school at the world stage in Portugal. First navigation school was opened, in which Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus were students. There were professors also who taught about navigation science. At the world stage, it was very first effort, first and foremost effort by Henry the Navigator. See the importance of, he took the surname of title of the navigator and he opened a school. It means scientific development, and some misconceptions were cleared, that there were no sea monster, only tides were there, and through the use of compass you can hover into open sea. It means you could not forget your route, and there were also consciousness growing into Europeans. The cause was Renaissance. All will be discussed in world history. So all these factors contributed and helped. It means they favored the condition to, they motivated such type of people. And what was the interest of the Henry Navigator? Basically, Henry, without the help of king, Vasco da Gama could not reach India. It means, what was the motive of navigator, Henry the Navigator? Only the motive was the profit. So there was a close association of the king and the adventurists such like Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus. So ultimate motive was to make profit and to reach money. Next we will discuss the first European company, first Europeans, the Portuguese, and we will discuss in that manner. First we will discuss arrival, then important Portuguese governors, then expansion and downfall, and then impact. And first we are going to discuss arrival. Vasco da Gama was the first Portuguese, minded, first Portuguese explorer. The term used explorer, and the first European to reach India by sea. It means Vasco da Gama was the first European and the first explorer who reached India by sea route, completely sea route. Before that, many of the travelers also came to India with the mix-up of some sea route and some land route. They started their journey from Italy and Rome through Mediterranean Sea, landed on the Asian countries like Iran, Iraq, and through Arabian Sea. It means a mix-up of land and sea route. But this was a pure sea route through which Vasco da Gama landed in India.
Da Gama discovered a sea route, mind it, the term is used discovered, not invention. And this was a Vasco da Gama did not discover India. India was known to all of the Europeans. Only he discovered a new sea route. And you have to consult the atlas and map. Through African coast, he started his journey through African coast, and through Cape of Good Hope. It is the lastest southern points of Africa. Though the Cape of Good Hope, it is very interesting to know that Cape of Good Hope, new aspirations, good hope it means. It was before Vasco da Gama, Bartholomew Diaz made successful voyage up to Cape of Good Hope in 1487. But from that point he returned, because he was hesitating to go forward ahead. He supposed that he did not venture in unknown terrain. But Vasco da Gama started and he took a circle and moved on the east coast of Africa. And then a Gujarati Abdul Malik helped Vasco da Gama to reach Calicut. And he landed at the port of Calicut. Nowadays it is called Kozhikode. There is, in the map you will find it, Calicut. Trace on the map of, in nowadays you will not find Calicut exact name, Kozhikode. It means Calicut is known in modern times as Kozhikode. In Malabar coast, Malabar means all the coast of western India is called Malabar coast, and this is called Malabar coast. Malabar coast, and in eastern coast it is called Coromandel coast. Coromandel coast. He was helped by Abdul Malik to reach India. Abdul Malik helped him go a smooth sail through Arabian Sea, because Abdul Malik was an Arabian trader who traded the goods from the coast of Kerala through Red Sea and handed over to traders of the Mediterranean. And he was received by the Hindu ruler of Calicut, known by the title of Zamorin. At Calicut, who was the Hindu ruler? Its name was Zamorin. His title was Zamorin. Okay? Vasco da Gama was a very famous personality in Indian history. And it is very interesting to know that Vasco da Gama made 3 voyages in India. Only in many books, only 2 voyages has been mentioned. Last of his voyage has not been mentioned. But I have mentioned it, and in the last voyages he also took malaria and he died in India. Second voyage in 1502, he came again and demanded to expel all Muslims from Calicut, like all Muslims of Calicut, which was turned down. What was the intention of Vasco da Gama? Basically, Vasco da Gama, when he returned, he landed in 1498 on his first voyage. He returned with spices and he gained a profit of 60 times. And he landed again in 1502. And it cannot be assumed and should not be assumed that only profit making was the motive of Vasco da Gama. The next motive was to expel the Arabs, to end the monopoly of Arabs from Indian Ocean. And he demanded Zamorin some of the demands, that you should expel Arabs, you should cut your trading relations with Arabs, and you should only trade with only Portuguese. That was the demand, but it was turned down. It means a rivalry broke out between Zamorin and Vasco da Gama. When he landed at Indian coast the second time, there was a conflict. But before that, a conflict already started, and the name was Pedro Alvarez Cabral. It means before the second voyage 1502, Pedro Alvarez Cabral was the commander of Second Indian Armada in 1500. A new name has been written on the board, Armada. Armada means mind it every word. Try to learn history with some interest. Armada means in the sea you will see that line of ships. It is called Armada. It means the concept of Armada was started by Portuguese. In the open sea, they have a fleet of ships, in which on each ship there were some mercenaries with swords. So it means Armada means nowadays submarines are there, naval ships are there, and those times warfare ships. It should not be assumed that only Vasco da Gama came to India. Next time, a second Armada means a fleet of corps landed in Indian coast with the motive of, what was the motive of sending Armada? You are the trader. You should have the only motive of trading with the India. And again in 1500 they came with so many fleets with swords. That was the reason. And it is a very pity that at that time the Indian kings were not aware of it. Zamorin had not the capacity to fight with the Portuguese. Anyway, and the third voyage in 1524, he was granted the privileged title of Viceroy, Vasco da Gama, being only the second Portuguese governor to enjoy that title. And first was Francisco de Almeida, second was the Viceroy. He contracted malaria after arriving and died in the city of Cochin. On his third voyage, Vasco da Gama died, and his tomb is in Cochin. But after 10 years and 20 years, the actual tomb was displaced into in Lisbon, the capital of Portugal. But still